Here's a fly ball out towards center field. This one's going back, and this one is gone! Taylor gets this one out towards center field to the short porch, and it's a grand slam! That's a floater. Out to short. And it's good. Off the shortstop's glove! Just like they drew it from Hollywood. Caladros, the 3-2. Swing and a miss! And the Audubon Green Wave have upset the Kingsway Dragons! Gone! Grant Fournier! 2-run shot to right!
We are live here from Lou D'Angelo Stadium as the Pennsville Eagles will take on the Paulsboro Red Raiders in a South Jersey Group 1 matchup here on Thursday night. I'm Jay Clark alongside Nolan Dowell. And Nolan, this will certainly be a great game. Pennsville is a team that's coming off a 3-game winning streak. They've won their last 3 matchups, whereas Paulsboro is a team that hasn't lost in just about a calendar year. Their last loss coming last season against Shalleck back in November of 2024. So a team that's 6-0 this year in the Paulsboro Red Raiders and a team that's red hot right now in the Pennsville Eagles. It's certainly going to be a good one here tonight.
And it totally will be. These are two, as of recent, dominant teams. Pennsville, you said, 3-game winning streak. Started off the year rough, 0-3, but they've bounced back, and they're 3-3 now, looking to defend their home field against the 6-0 Paulsboro Red Raiders. It's going to be a good one.
It certainly will be, and for Pennsville, have to be looking at number 19 for them, a terrific player for Rylan Hardy, leads the team in almost every statistical category: rush yards, receiving yards, total tackles, and tackles for loss. Somebody that you're going to be wanting to keep an eye on here tonight for Pennsville.
Yeah, and it's sad that he's a senior. No more time left in Pennsville for Rylan after this season. But he's been real good his entire career, and he's got one more stand here for his final homecoming game at home. Might see a big performance out of him tonight.
And on the other side of things, Malachi McKenzie, the quarterback for Paulsboro, leading this team to a 6-0 record. They've looked unstoppable each and every week they've taken the field, and it'll certainly be a tough task for Pennsville here tonight. But for Paulsboro, they've got to look to try and keep that win streak rolling as they're looking to try and make a deep run in South Jersey Group 1.
Yeah, and it really helps when you have a quarterback who is being coached by Kevin Harvey, who had a great career at Paulsboro, won 4 state championships, and was dominant his entire career. So Malachi McKenzie trying to recreate some of that Kevin Harvey magic tonight.
It'll certainly be a tough task for him. Harvey, one of the best players in all of South Jersey high school football. But we're going to take a quick step off the air right here on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting.
They get their own thing?
So the Paulsboro Red Raiders on the road here in Pennsville at Lou D'Angelo Stadium with the big banner, "Walk in faith, not in fear." A good message being spread there by the Red Raiders as they'll receive the ball first here tonight against the Pennsville Eagles. A Pennsville team that's 3-3, went 6-5 just a season ago, and 2-2 in the WJFL Patriot Division this year. They're on a 3-game win streak. They started 0-3. They've brought themselves back to 500. But on the other side of things for the visiting Red Raiders, it hasn't been much of a struggle for them this year. 6-0, went 8-3 last year, 4-0 in the WJFL Patriot Division. And they haven't lost since November 8th of 2024. They lost to Shalleck in the Group 1 playoffs last year. It's been 336 days since the Red Raiders have been defeated on the football gridiron. And for the home Pennsville Eagles, they'll be looking to do just that.
Yeah, and Paulsboro coming off a win last week against Shalleck. Only got that game won 6-0 though. So Pennsville might have an opportunity here to see a slower Paulsboro offense and maybe take advantage of that. Put up a lot of points. We'll see. It'll be a good one. And
on the other side of things, the last matchup for the Eagles, Pennsville defeating Pennsgrove on the road by 41-0. They posted a clean sheet. Both of these schools posting shutouts in their last matchup as we're just about set for kickoff. This one is booted off and away, picked up, and now will fall to the turf around the 20-yard line. Paulsboro has it, and a solid return stops him around the 24-yard line. Was scooped up by Jeremiah Carr, the junior, on the return. Now going to take a look at the man calling the signals and leading the charge for the Red Raiders at Malachi McKenzie, number 2 in white here tonight. See a lot of his stats there on the screen. He's got 7 passing touchdowns, just 1 interception, 426 yards through the air, 30 for 45 on the completions. 2 weeks ago against Collingswood, he went 7 for 15, over 100 yards through the air, 4 touchdowns, just 1 interception, and in his career, over 1,000 yards. Really good ratio, 20 touchdowns compared to just 6 interceptions, as he looks to get the Red Raiders off to a good start here tonight. 1st and 10 for Paulsboro. McKenzie takes the snap. He hands this one off. Ball carrier has a lane. It was Harvey there on the carry. Picks up a sizable gain. It'll now bring up a 2nd down and manageable here for the Red Raiders. A nice handoff to Harvey. Has 5 rushing touchdowns this year with Paulsboro, 79 yards on the season. 2nd and 2. They'll get it back to Harvey. Going the other way. He's got some space, but quickly met there by that Pennsville defense. Looked like it was Dante Cummings in on the tackle, and it'll bring up a 3rd and 1 and an injured Red Raider now down on the field. Pennsville training staff getting out to the injured Red Raider. Paulsboro with a 3rd and 1. They've gone to the ground twice. It's been Harvey on both of those carries.
Yeah, and it looks like Harvey is the player who is down now, which would be a huge loss for this Paulsboro team because he doesn't just play offense. He plays defense too, and he has 1 interception this year against Audubon. So not just an asset on offense, but also on defense. So he's getting up here a little banged up.
Was Harvey that was down. Again, a real asset for this Paulsboro team. Has exactly 1,000 yards in his career rushing. Added a couple more on that drive, about 9, as it'll bring up a 3rd and 1 for Harvey. 5 touchdowns on the year on 31 attempts, has 79 yards on the ground. And Paulsboro in a 3rd and short Going to be interesting to see what they do with their lead back off to the sidelines. McKenzie is getting the play call from his head coach and Kevin Harvey. Kevin Harvey, as we alluded to in the pregame show, one of the best to ever do it in South Jersey high school football. The former quarterback for the Red Raiders, now the head coach, was an all-state quarterback back in 1994 and 1995, had 101 career touchdowns. That was a record for quite some time until it was broken just a season ago. As McKenzie is set, hands this one off. They'll have the first down and a little bit more. A solid run there for Paulsboro. And the Red Raiders will move the chains, going to the ground a whole lot here early in this one.
And that's something Paulsboro can do. They have multiple 100-yard rushers this season, 3 to be exact. Kyer Harvey just got hurt. Malachi McKenzie, their quarterback, and then Paris Graves, who is back there in the backfield now replacing Harvey. So they have a really good rushing attack, and they're going to look to use that against this Pennsville defense.
First down, the first throw of the day is broken up and almost intercepted. Broken up by Colazzo there. Scary throw from McKenzie. And now it'll bring up a second down. A huge sigh of relief that one wasn't intercepted.
And Jake, that might have been a walk-in touchdown if he picked it off. He had all the momentum going his way. But sometimes pressure just gets to you there and bobbles off of Aiden Colazzo's hands. And now Paulsboro has second down.
Colazzo, the sophomore, has 18 solo tackles on the year and almost picked up an interception, but instead it's second down. They'll drop McKenzie back to throw, rolling out to his left, looking for something down the field, and now he's going to just try and tuck it and run. Breaks off a tackle, has some space, and he's brought down right around the sticks. Looks like he'll be a yard short, and it'll bring up a 3rd and 1. But a nice scramble there for Malachi McKenzie.
And Pennsville had him dead to rights on the outside there, but McKenzie just slipping tackles, what he does best as a quarterback, being an improviser type, able to get past the Pennsville defense and almost pick up a first down.
On the year rushing, has 4 rushing touchdowns and 225 yards on the ground on 27 carries. Had a season high 155 rush yards last game, against Overbrook on the 25th. He also had 2 rush touchdowns in that game as well. 2nd and 1, they'll hand this one off to Harvey. Harvey made a nice cut, made a couple miss, and he's brought down just shy of the 40-yard line, now into Pennsville territory, as the Red Raiders pick up another first down on the ground thanks to Kyer Harvey.
And he got about 7 yards after contact there, initiated contact at about the 45, and then ended up bringing it up. Ref spot him down about the 42. It felt like he had gotten more yards after contact, though, there.
First down, they roll McKenzie out to the right. Pressure in his face. He just has to get rid of it, throws it down on the ground. Looks like there was a receiver in the area.
And look who got the pressure, the opposing quarterback, Robbie McDade, in there to get the pressure on McKenzie and force him to throw it away.
McDade, not only the quarterback for Pennsville, showing it there defensively, has a sack, 2 tackles for loss, 17 total tackles, a forced fumble, and an interception this year on the defensive side of the ball for Pennsville. A true Swiss Army knife that Coach Mike Healy, I'm sure, loves using, not only as the quarterback, but back there in the secondary as well for Pennsville.
Yeah, and I know he's going to be very upset when McDade walks across the stage this upcoming June to graduate in his final year at the high school.
Second down, handoff to Harvey. He's got some space. Nice cut around the 35. There goes Harvey at the 20, the 10, at the 5. Does he stay in? Yes, he does. Touchdown there for Paulsboro. Kyer Harvey puts the Red Raiders on the board first. It's 6-0.
And we saw that injury scare earlier. It looks like his legs are good, though, now. I mean, a couple great moves, and he's in the end zone. Blink of an eye. Fast man, fast touchdown. Paulsboro up 6-0.
Did an excellent job of bouncing that one out to the right side, and once he had some green grass in front of him, Nobody could catch up to him for the Eagles, and that'll set up an extra point attempt here for Paulsboro.
They're going to go for 2.
Looks like they'll keep the offense on the field.
Unless their quarterback is the kicker, which is not an uncommon occurrence in high school football.
Yeah, it's certainly not.
I mean, we saw for Pennsville, defensive lineman Jacob Hand handling the kickoffs. So we'll see.
Looks like they're set for 2. McKenzie is under center. 3 men in the backfield. He's going to roll out, fires this one up, and caught and good. Marquise Eli there on the catch. And that'll make it 8-0 for Paulsboro. The Red Raiders get on the board first thanks to Kyer Harvey, as we'll take a quick step off the air. First quarter here, 8-0 Paulsboro on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. So the Red Raiders boot this one away after getting on the board first. It's 8-0, scooped up by Pennsville, and now they've got some space around the 30. Now at the 40, at the 50-yard line, here come the Eagles, and brought down inside Red Raider territory right at the 40-yard line. It's Aiden Colazzo there on the return, and Pennsville is set up with great field position to begin their first offensive drive of the day.
Great return by Colazzo, making up for that dropped interception he had on the first drive. And now Pennsville is in Paulsboro territory without even having an offensive snap.
And now we're going to take a look at some of the numbers for the quarterback, Robbie McDade here for Pennsville, one of the senior leaders on this team, 226 pass yards on the year, 2 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, but he has over 3,000 career passing yards and 24 touchdowns through the air. As he takes the snap, he's going to keep it on the quarterback draw there and picks up a couple yards. Makes it a 2nd and short here for Pennsville. We saw him on the defensive end. Again, has a sack, a couple tackles for loss, a fumble forced, and an interception on defense. The past 2 seasons at quarterback, he's passed for over 1,100 yards through the air. This year, though, Nolan, doing a lot with his legs, 400 yards on the ground and 4 touchdowns rushing this year for number 3 in black.
And that's what we're going to see out of Pennsville. It's almost like Army. They do not throw the football. We're going to see a lot of runs. So this Paulsboro defensive line is going to really have to step up and shut them down.
Handoff there to Colazzo, the sophomore. Has 78 yards on the ground entering this one. 2 touchdowns, but he stopped for a minimal gain. And now the first 3rd down of the night that the Eagles will face here at Lou D'Angelo Stadium.
And they are not in field goal range. They do not have a kicker. It's not very common in high school to have a kicker who can kick these kicks. I mean, this would be, what, almost 50-yard field goal from right about here. But Pennsville, you're going to have to pick up a first down, especially after that big kick return.
We'll see if they can do just that. 3rd down, they pitch it to the man in the backfield, and it looks like he's got enough for the first. Rylan Hardy, the senior there on the pitch. Looks like he's got enough for the first down. Played in all 6 games this year for Pennsville. And as we mentioned in the open, leads the team in just about every statistical category. Rush yards, receiving yards, total tackles, and tackles for loss. Entered the day with 447 yards on the ground. And he adds a couple there to pick up a first.
Yeah, and Jake, we're going to see a lot of that option offense out of this Pennsville team. As we talked about, Robbie McDade, with his lower passing numbers this year, he had 0 passing attempts against Pennsgrove in their last game. And they dominated. They won 41-0. We'll see if they can do that again today.
First down, they get the ball back there to Hardy. He stopped for a minimal gain, but now across the 30 are the Eagles, and it'll bring up a second down. Both of these teams in their last games picking up wins, but by different margins. As we mentioned, Pennsgrove was the last team that Pennsville played on the road, and the Eagles were able to beat Pennsgrove 41-0. Whereas on the other side of things, Paulsboro on the road at Shalleck, the team that ended their season a year ago, and the last loss the Red Raiders have faced, they won 6-0. McDade here on second down, evading pressure, rolling to the right, fires across the middle of the field. That one's caught there by Colazzo. He's got enough for a first down, and the Eagles are in the red zone for the first time tonight.
And we talk about Robbie McDade having no passing attempts in his last game. Well, there you go. First one of the game, and it's a good completion to sophomore Aiden Colazzo, who's had a really big game so far. Nice kick return, good defense, and now big catch to put him inside the red zone.
Yeah, Colazzo with that huge kick return to bring Pennsville to the Paulsboro 40-yard line. Now has him set up inside the red zone. It'll be first down. McDade with one man to his left, one man to his right. He's going to keep this one himself, and he's got some open space, breaks some tackles, and Robbie McDade is into the end zone. Pennsville is on the board.
There's that triple option, and who keeps it? Robbie McDade, the quarterback, right up the gut for a nice 10-yard touchdown run.
Rushing touchdown number 5 on the year for McDade. Total touchdown number 7 for number 3 in black here. And it looks like the offense will stay on the field as both teams are going to try and just go for 2 and see who can convert more.
And Pennsville's got a match, especially since Paulsboro made their first 2-point conversion. This is a big one to tie the game. You don't want to go down early, especially after having scored and then giving Paulsboro the ball back.
They hand this one off up the middle. Hardy is in, and we are all squared away at 8 here from Lou D'Angelo Stadium. Pennsville answers right back with a score of their own on the keeper from Robbie McDade. Going to take another look at it here. McDade, as Nolan mentioned on that triple option, has done a lot with his legs and was able to get the Eagles all tied up at 8. Still here in the first quarter, 8-8 your score. We'll be right back on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting.
And it gets past everybody. Graham will go back to position with no goal scored. They'll count down the time out loud here. Out to the left. One final shot, and it gets through. How about a buzzer beater? How do you do? It's a lead extending goal for Justin Lewis.
One drive apiece for both of these teams, and they've put up 8 here on the scoreboard. Still here in the first quarter as Pennsville scored on the quarterback keeper from Robbie McDade and converted on the 2-point thanks to Rylan Hardy. They're back in this game, 8-8 your score as Pennsville is set to kick it away. If you're just joining us here on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting, I'm Jake Clark alongside Nolan Dowell as we've got a great matchup here between South Jersey Group 1 opponents and WJFL Patriot opponents, both in the same division. It's going to be Hand on the kickoff. He boots this one away. And this one fielded around the 15. That one is fielded by Carr. Carr has a lane, and Carr is running. There's a flag down on the field, but Carr's at the 20, now at the 10, and Jeremiah Carr will score. There is some laundry down on the field back.
It's coming back.
Around where the blocks were made, saw an eagle down. The flag spotted at the 40-yard line for Paulsboro. But if it stands,
in the back.
Jeremiah Carr scores. They've got an illegal block against Paulsboro, so that one will be coming back. Nevertheless, a great run from the junior wide receiver in Jeremiah Carr. But Paulsboro will be backed up. They'll start the drive right around their own 30-yard line.
And that's huge for this Pennsville team. You could not let them return that kick, especially after having a great first drive, coming out strong and scoring a touchdown. You're lucky the refs caught a block in the back, or else right now you'd be down another touchdown after your offense was just out there.
Not only down another touchdown, but a huge momentum swing it would have been for the Red Raiders of Paulsboro. So it'll be a first down, the ball spotted on the 30 for Malachi McKenzie and the Red Raiders. We've seen a lot of runs, specifically from Kyer Harvey, here for Paulsboro. McKenzie, also a mobile quarterback, has over 200 yards on the ground. We're going to have to see if the trend continues or if Paulsboro will air it out.
I think they got to go back to the guy who just scored you a touchdown in your first drive. But
McKenzie with a good pocket going deep up the middle of the field, too strong as the pass was intended for Cabanas over the middle of the field.
I mean, you're looking at the defense there. There were a lot of guys that you could have had. A little overthrown from McKenzie, but a ball about a foot back. We might have had another touchdown there. That was a really good play call from Paulsboro, and it kind of exposed this Pennsville defense, who they were adjusted to stop the run here on the first down, but they got a pass.
Yeah, it looked like it was just a little bit too strong for Sawyer Cabanas. Second down, they've still got three receivers out. Motion man is Eli. They'll hand this one off to Harvey, and he is stopped for a minimal pickup. It'll bring up a 3rd and long now for Paulsboro. And after it seemed like they got just about everything they wanted on that first opening drive, facing a 3rd and 8 now with about 4 minutes remaining in the first quarter. So Kevin Harvey talking to his quarterback and Malachi McKenzie, from one great quarterback to potentially another. McKenzie, the senior this year, trying to make his mark. Passed for 1,362 yards a season ago for Paulsboro. Taking some notes from his All-State head coach. Flags fly here on 3rd down. McKenzie goes deep down the field, just out of the reach of Jeremiah Carr. Flags flew as the ball was snapped, and we've got whistles. And they're looking for the clock to stop here at 3:35. They've got an illegal shift against the Red Raiders. Looks like Pennsville wants to decline and will take a 4th and 8. Huge 3 and out there for this Eagles defense. Looking to try and get McDade and the offense the ball back.
Yeah, we saw 2 pass plays from McKenzie on this drive, 2 overthrown passes. But that's what you want to see from this Paulsboro offense. You want to see them move the ball downfield. Deep shots are going to expose this Pennsville defense, who they were really just geared up to stop the run on that drive, and they got 2 passes.
So Paulsboro is set to punt. It'll be Carr, the man who had the long kickoff return. He skies this one high. It doesn't go very far. Takes a Red Raiders bounce and will be down at the Pennsville 45-yard line. But still great field position here for the Eagles, as they've now got a first down, and they're just a couple yards away from where they started their last drive on the Paulsboro 40.
And, yeah, that's what you get when you have a position player out there kicking. Jake, I know you were a kicker, and if that was you out there, that punt would have been back in the end zone.
Not myself, but my brother, the current kicker over at Sterling High School. Jeremy Clark, a junior there, was the Colonial Conference first teamer when it came to the kicking position. But now McDade hands this one off. A nice solid run, close to the marker. It was Hardy there. They'll spot him a yard short. It's 2nd and 1. But you do make a good point there, Nolan, that it does help when you have somebody that can just focus on kicking and punting the ball, which it looks like Paulsboro, they did have a position player out there, and the punt didn't go very far.
But then you got to go and rely on your defense to make a stop, which is what they've done. They're 6-0 without a kicker, so it's worked pretty well for them this season.
Second down run there from Collazo. He was stuffed up in the backfield. Might have been tackled for a loss of a yard, and it'll bring up a 3rd and 2 now here for Pennsville. The Eagles trying not to waste this good field position. Hayden Sherman, the one that got the play call from head coach Mike Healy. It'll now be a 3rd and 2. 3 men staggered in the backfield. McDade takes the snap. He's going to keep it himself. A good surge, and he's got a first down and a little bit more. Gets tackled around the 39, and Pennsville will move the chains now into Paulsboro territory.
And his explosiveness off the option is what makes him such a dual threat at the quarterback position. We just saw it there. He fakes the handoff to Collazo, and then he just gets like a burst of energy and picks up about 7 yards for Eagles' first down.
A quarterback that for the past 2 years passed for over 1,000 yards. This year he's done a whole lot on the ground, and he's showcasing that here tonight as he picked up the first down with his legs. McDade is set with 1:30 left here on the clock. He fakes the handoff, drops back to pass, fires across the field. That one incomplete, intended for Kane Green. But they were unable to connect, and it'll bring up a 2nd down. And correct me if I'm wrong, Nolan, but looks like just the 2nd time that McDade has dropped back to pass here in this first quarter.
Yep, matches the Paulsboro team. 2 passes on each side so far this game, and 1 completion in total. I mean, we saw it last possession for Pennsville, a little play action pass, picked up a first down, but they've had so far more passes than they did in the Pennsgrove game. So
more passes completed and the same amount of pass attempts, as this will bring up now a 2nd and 10. They'll hand it off to Hardy. Hardy makes a cut, but is swarmed there by a bunch of white jerseys, still refusing to go down. Did the ball come out? It looks like it did. They're saying that Paulsboro will have the ball. So the Red Raiders strip it from Rylan Hardy, and it looked like it was Jamal Robinson that came out with the ball, number 6 in white. So a huge turnover there for Paulsboro with about a minute to go here in this first quarter.
yeah, and that's a big, big time stop from Paulsboro. You just had your offense go out and go 3 and out, and now you get the ball back almost at the same spot to potentially continue that drive that they flustered out on.
So the Red Raiders offense back in action after the forced fumble and fumble recovery by Jamal Robinson. 2 receivers to the far side. Eli, the tight end, in motion. The pass from McKenzie, a quick one. He's got it to Robinson, who falls down around the sticks. Close to a first down. It looks like they'll give it to him. But after recovering the fumble, the next play, they get it right back to number 6 in white, and he's able to pick up a first down on that reception.
Hey, you got to reward him for getting that fumble recovery. That's a big play. And now he picks up another first down for Paulsboro, which is huge too.
Robinson leads the team in interceptions with 2. Now as a fumble recovery, they roll out to pass yet again. That one to Jeremiah Carr, who stays on his feet, still moving forward, and he's got enough for a first down. Carr tackled hard here on the near sideline, but enough to move the chains there, and a couple of nice passes from Malachi McKenzie to move the chains on 2 consecutive plays. Clock will run now just about under 40 seconds here. McKenzie in the shotgun, has 4 receivers out wide. He drops back, set in the pocket. Now some pressure from Pennsville, just has to get rid of it, and it's intercepted. The defensive line with an interception. What a play. Trevor Waddington with the pick, the big fella. And Pennsville now with great field position with 21 seconds left in the first quarter.
And that is what you needed. Pennsville offense turns it over, and then the defense forces a turnover after a mistake from Malachi McKenzie, who was getting pressured by Jacob Hand and then made a last-second decision to try to get rid of the ball instead of taking the sack, throws it right to Trevor Waddington.
Not something you see every day, the defensive line interception.
He was moving.
He certainly was. I thought he might be able to house that one, but eventually Paulsboro caught up. Nevertheless, great field position now for McDade and the Eagles. First down is a handoff. That one is stopped for a minimal gain. It was Hardy there on the carry. The clock continues to run, and looks like it'll be the final play of this first quarter unless Pennsville elects to work quick. They're just going to walk off the field, and we are all tied at 8 here after the first quarter of play. Been a nice back-and-forth battle between these South Jersey Group 1 opponents. We'll be back right here for the second quarter of action on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting.
In life, the road ahead is full of possibilities, but to navigate it safely, you need the right skills. Harper Driving School is the premier driving school serving Gloucester, Salem, and Camden counties. With experienced instructors, many of whom are teachers in local schools, we are dedicated to your success and will help you master the road with confidence. With an over 95% success rate of students passing their road test on their first try, you know your student will be in good hands while embarking on a huge step of their young adult lives, all while avoiding the lines at the DMV and getting insurance discounts.
We chose Harper, and so should you.
The second quarter just about to get underway here from Lou D'Angelo Stadium, right across the street from Pennsville High School. It's the Eagles with the ball to start the second quarter, as this one, a play action. McDade goes down hard. Big play right there. DeJohn Williams records now his second sack of the year and backs up the Eagles to midfield.
That was some aggression on that sack. He came in there flying like a missile and took down McDade. Back up Pennsville now for a third down. Looks like you might have to pass here.
Third and long here, 14 yards to go. Williams recording his second sack of the year. The only other sack he has was on the road against Overbrook on September 25th. Third down, McDade drops back to pass, steps into this one, goes deep down the field. It is intercepted. Paulsboro with the pick. Kyer Harvey, the one to pick it off down the field. And the Red Raiders force a turnover early in this second quarter.
Yeah, and McDade was looking for Chase Johnson there. Could not find him. A little overthrown on that deep pass, but it's basically an arm punt. I mean, you pin them back now. They're inside their 15-yard line, and now Paulsboro is going to have to go 85 yards to put the ball in the end zone.
Yeah, you see right there, gets tipped around and ends up in the hands of Kyer Harvey.
I'm surprised he wasn't able to return it. They marked him down.
Fell down right as he caught it. First down throw on the screen. They get it out to Carr. Makes a couple men miss and is brought down just short of the first down marker. But we're seeing Paulsboro pass a lot more here at the end of that first quarter, now beginning of the second quarter. And you're right, Nolan, they have to go a far length. Like that term, arm punt. Really threw it down the field. The interception almost works out like a punt there for Pennsville, and it brings up now a 2nd and 1 after the 9-yard gain from Carr.
And we've seen 3 turnovers in the span of about 6 minutes, I would say. Will Paulsboro turn it over again? I guess we'll see.
This one a big run from Harvey, still on his feet, still churning the legs, and is brought down around the 39-yard line. A big gainer there for the man that had the interception a moment ago, Kyer Harvey.
And now he'll run off the field, and Paris Graves will replace him. I mean, we talked about it earlier, the triple threat Paulsboro has in their backfield with Paris Graves, Malachi McKenzie, and Kyer Harvey. I mean, it's a dangerous running game that they have, and it's worked so far. They've had success running the ball.
They get it to Graves on the handoff. He's got a full head of steam, still on his feet as the Eagles rally around him. A lot of black jerseys push him forward, and he's got enough for a first down. Looked like a gain of 11 there for Paris Graves. And that'll be enough to move the sticks. Graves, the junior for the Red Raiders, came into tonight with 175 rush yards, 20 attempts on the year, and 1 touchdown against the Collingswood Panthers on September 20th, where he had a season-high 95 yards. They get it back to him now on first down. This time stops short, but gets it into enemy territory. It'll bring up a 2nd and long.
And a good stop there from the Pennsville defense, who on the last 2 plays have given up 25-plus yards of run, and they finally bolster up the defensive line there, and Paulsboro only picks up 3.
As we're here in the second quarter, taking a look at the score of the NLDS game between the Phillies and the Dodgers. At the end of the second inning, 0-0. Both teams not on the board. We've got a tie game here as well, 8-8. This time they get it to Harvey. He's got some space on the outside, slips up, stays on his feet, and he's still on his feet. Looked like he went down for a second, but Harvey keeps the legs churning and rips off yet another big run for Paulsboro.
The little engine that could keeps chugging and chugging. Harvey looked like he would have been down 5 yards into the run. Looked like he would have been down 15 yards in the run. He ends up picking almost 30 yards up after not going down. And now Paulsboro, they're within striking distance.
Lined up around the 27-yard line. They get the snap to McKenzie, hands it off to Harvey, bounces it out to the right side. Harvey's got some space and green grass in front of him. Dives for the pylon. Is he in? Yes, he is. Touchdown, Kyer Harvey, his 2nd on the ground tonight, and he puts the Red Raiders up 14-8.
What a run from Kyer Harvey. They used him a lot this drive, and not just on offense. He had an interception on defense to get the offense back out on the field, and he probably picked up 60 of the 85 yards Paulsboro needed on this drive and ends it off with a touchdown, his 2nd of the day. What a drive from Kyer Harvey.
Harvey now 7 touchdowns on the season for him on the ground, and Paulsboro lining up to go for 2. They've got McKenzie under center. He's going to hand this one off, and barreling into the end zone are the Red Raiders. So Paulsboro now with an 8-point lead on the scoreboard, 16-8, after the big run from Kyer Harvey for his 2nd rush touchdown tonight. Pennsville will now look to respond, and that drive, Nolan, as you pointed out, was really all thanks to Harvey. Picked up about 60 yards on the ground, had the interception to even get Paulsboro the ball back, and now it looks like Pennsville will have to try and come up with an answer. 16-8 your score here in the second quarter, as we're here on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. I'm Jay Clark alongside Nolan Dowell. But McDade has shown that he can run as well. We take a look here on the replay.
A lot of space out there on the right side.
And I think the most impressive thing about that run was the fact that it looked like it was supposed to be designed to go to the left. It looked like he had the blockers moving for him to the left. Nothing was there. He just bounced it out to the right side where there was some space, and once he had some green grass in front of him, it was lights out there for Kyer Harvey.
And we saw that on his first touchdown run, too. He had a beautiful cut move to fake out the defenders, and he took that his first one about 30 yards, his second one for about 20.
So this one is sent away, fielded around the 16-yard line there for Pennsville. A nice tackle there from Paulsboro. And the Eagles will set up shop just shy of the 30-yard line, trailing this game by 8. It was Robbie McDade, the one to score the rush touchdown for Pennsville. And this one will get backed up even further after the holding call goes against Pennsville. So instead of starting around the 29-yard line, it looks like they'll be backed up inside their own 20.
The good thing for Pennsville in this drive, they have 8.5 minutes to work. They don't have to worry about clock management, which means they can run the ball all they want, which is what they've had success doing this season. They haven't really thrown much, but if they need to, Robbie McDade sure can. I mean, he showed it the past 2 seasons with over 1,000 yards in each season passing. And we'll see if they use his arm on this drive.
The Eagles break the huddle. They've been ground dominant here tonight along with Paulsboro. It's been a great rushing attack. Man in motion for Pennsville. They get it to him, and he's got some space. It's Collazo makes a cut around the 25 and picks up enough for a first down as he falls right onto the 31-yard line to move the sticks.
I mean, and that's what we've seen all game. It's been a mix of 3 guys. Robbie McDade, Rylan Hardy, and Aiden Collazo running the football for this Pennsville offense. Not just on offense, but on defense. They've made big plays. In the special teams, Collazo had a big return earlier in the game. McDade's had a couple tackles on defense. So they do it all for this team.
First down, they get this one to Hardy. He's tackled for a pretty solid pickup there on first down. Looked like a gain of about 6, and it'll set up a second down. They say it was a 7-yard gain. 6 moves to 7, and it'll be now 2nd and 3.
And that basically negates the holding penalty that they had on the kickoff return. 2 plays, and you're right back to where you were to start the drive.
7.5 minutes remaining. Pennsville trails by 8. McDade in the shotgun, motions Collazo. They've got 2 men now in the backfield. They get it on the keeper to McDade. He stopped for a minimal gain, maybe gained a yard, and it'll bring up now a 3rd and 6.
And normally McDade has a lot of success with those triple options, and I honestly think he should have handed it off to Collazo there. Collazo looked like he had a lot of room. He had a blocker on the outside, but McDade keeps it for himself and only picks up about a yard or 2.
Well, Nolan, they keep going back to that same formation where they've got
it's coming.
McDade is the quarterback. He's got a running back to his left, in Hardy, a running back to his right in Collazo, and he's kept it for a majority of the times. They gave him 3 on the keeper, as now he'll roll out to pass. He gets it to Rylan Hardy. He's got enough for a first down, spins off a defender, and falls into Red Raider territory right around the 48-yard line for a first down.
And that's something we haven't seen out of that formation today, a little RPO. It worked beautifully. Rylan Hardy picks up a big gain, and we were talking about the formation. If you're Pennsville, why not keep running it? Make Paulsboro go stop it. If you can't stop this RPO triple option formation, why would we change it up?
Yeah, they certainly did a nice job with running the ball that first drive, and then McDade got stopped. They pulled out the pass, and they got it to their receiving yards leader in Rylan Hardy, who made a couple miss. Ball spotted at the 49. They hand this one off up the middle, and now here's some space. It's Hardy with some space, barreling down the field, and he's tackled around the 29-yard line. A big gainer there for number 19 in black, and the Eagles' offense is rolling.
And the guy who made the tackle was Paulsboro's running back, Kyer Hardy, who has had a huge game so far for Paulsboro. Offensively and defensively, comes up with another big tackle there to potentially save a touchdown.
Harvey gets the tackle against Hardy, and now it'll bring up a first down from the 29. Hardy to the left of McDade, 2 receivers to the far side. McDade takes the snap. He's going to keep it and is smothered. Brought down, big tackle there by Paulsboro. And that'll bring up a second down now. McDade lucky to maybe even get a yard as the ball spotted on the 30-yard line.
And he got clobbered there at the line of scrimmage. I mean, 54 was right on him. After he pulled that ball back and just was met at the line. That's a big man on the line for Paulsboro.
A huge tackle there from the Red Raiders, trying to slow down this Pennsville offense that has put together a nice drive. They've got a second down and 10. McDade drops back to pass. Blitz coming. They get it on the screen to Hardy, and well defended there by Paulsboro. A whole lot of white jerseys in the backfield, and they're still able to tackle the ball carrier and Rylan Hardy for a loss. It's going to be a third down and 10+ now here for Pennsville.
Yeah, that screen play did not work. Screens do not work if your running back is in front of the offensive line, and that is something we just saw there on that second down play call. Big third down, though, for Pennsville.
Just about 4 minutes remaining. We've got whistles and now a timeout taken by Pennsville. Their first here of the half with 4:11 left to go. 16-8 your score, as we'll be right back on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. This broadcast is brought to you by RCSJ Gloucester, the premier community college of New Jersey. Become a Roadrunner today for athletic recruiting at rcroadrunners.com. As McDade drops back to pass, now will tuck it and run up the middle. Robbie McDade making men miss and gets enough for a first down. Huge gainer there. And if he's a prospective athlete, he can visit rcsj.edu for academic info.
And that was a huge play for Pennsville. Backed up to 3rd and 13, fooled the Paulsboro defense, made them think you were going to pass. And with an athletic quarterback like Robbie McDade, he just takes it right up the middle and bulldozes his way for a first down.
First down now inside the red zone here for Pennsville. One man in the backfield, it's Hardy. He'll get it. Hardy with some space, jumps and dives for the end zone, but it looks like he's going to be marked short at the 1-yard line. Rylan Hardy with the hurdle attempt, and he almost got in, but enough for a first down, and now a 1st and goal here for the Eagles.
And this is a huge opportunity to punch it in and tie up this game pending a 2-point conversion. You don't really want to go down at halftime, especially against this Paulsboro team who's been so good this season. Tying it up here would be huge for Pennsville.
A Paulsboro team that's 6-0. They haven't lost in 336 days. Their last loss coming last November in the Group 1 playoffs against Shalleck. 1st and goal. They go on the quarterback sneak. Is he in? Yes, he is. Robbie McDade picks up rushing touchdown number 2 here tonight on the 1-yard quarterback keeper. And now the Pennsville Eagles are a 2-point conversion away from tying the game at 16.
And Paulsboro has enough time to go downfield. We've seen them throw the ball more recently than they did in the first quarter. I mean, 2 minutes and 54 seconds with 3 timeouts. That's plenty of time for your offense to go down the field and take the lead if Pennsville gets the 2-point conversion.
Sherman brings in the play call for the offense. one of the senior leaders on this team. McDade gives it off to Hardy, barreling down the lane, and he gets in. All knotted up at 16 after the 1-yard quarterback keeper. And Rylan Hardy makes it 16-16. This broadcast is brought to you by Gray Fox Sports, premier sports photography right in your backyard. Book Michael Taylor at grayfoxsports.net or Gray Fox Sports on Instagram. So 16 all with 2:54 remaining here in the first half on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. If you're just joining us, I'm Jake Clark. Alongside me, Nolan Dowell. And Nolan, the Pennsville alum, here in the booth with us. You have to be loving what you're seeing from McDade on the ground here tonight.
I am. This Pennsville team going up against the favorite Paulsboro Red Raiders, 6-0 on the season. Pennsville coming in as a home underdog. And so far, they've played well. We've seen it from both offenses. It's been a mainly ground attack from both sides. And there have been a couple turnovers here and there, but it's been a good game so far.
It certainly has. Both teams, I should say, have two guys or one guy with both touchdowns. For Pennsville, it's Robbie McDade. For Paulsboro, it's number 0 in white, Kyer Harvey, who has the 2 rush touchdowns and now has his second interception of the season here tonight as he picked off McDade, who threw interception number 6. He had 7 a season ago.
And then on that same offensive drive after the arm punt from McDade, pinned him deep in there in Paulsboro territory. And we saw Harvey just take over on that drive, have about 60 rushing yards, and touchdown number 2.
So it'll be Hand there on the kickoff. He boots this one away. A solid kickoff fielded right around the 15-yard line by Paulsboro. And the Red Raiders moving up the field, shoved out of bounds right around the 35-yard line. And as you pointed out, Nolan, a team that has passed more here in this second quarter with 2:48 and 3 timeouts left. They've certainly got a lot of time here to try and move down the field.
Yeah, and we're going to see a couple more passes from McKenzie here on this drive. I mean, you have 2 minutes and 48 seconds to go 65 yards to the end zone because you don't have a kicker. We talked about it earlier, the impact of not having a kicker on your team and what it does. I mean, maybe you have a guy that can make a short kick, but...
Well, here goes Carr off the screen pass. Carr moving down the field. A huge gainer there into Pennsville territory. Tackled down right around the 40-yard line. And just like that, the Red Raiders are in business.
And that was a big tackle. Jeremiah Carr took a huge hit on the ground, and he's down right now. That was a huge hit from Pennsville. Brought him down hard, and he's still down right now.
Carr is slow to get up, and that's a huge blow there for Paulsboro. The team leader in receiving yards entered tonight with 198. Also has 2 touchdowns caught through the air. We have to hope that he is okay.
And he also has that kick return early in the game that was called back due to a block in the back. But this would be a huge loss for the Red Raiders.
Stay tuned for the DWB Archives program at halftime, highlighting the best moments in our 4-year history. From walk-off hits to game-winning shots, the Archive program highlights it all. You're not going to want to miss it, even while we have a break in the action here on the gridiron. Once we hit halftime in 2 minutes and 38 seconds of game clock. Carr still down on the field, now sitting up. But for both of these teams, only 2 games remaining in their schedule. For Pennsville, next week they'll head to Lawrence to play on October 17th. Lawrence 4-2 on the year as Carr is up, walking off under his own power. And for Paulsboro, they'll face off with Colonial Conference opponent West Deptford, who's 5-1 on the year. They'll play next Saturday on October 18th to face off from one Eagles opponent to the next. Pennsville being the Eagles, West Deptford being the Eagles, wearing different colors. So they'll face Eagles wearing black to Eagles wearing green next week. They're focused on the men in black they have in front of them. This one a handoff to Harvey to the left side. Harvey, there's a flag down, and he is smothered by a whole lot of black jerseys there. We'll have to see who the flag is on. Flag thrown behind the line of scrimmage. They've got holding against Paulsboro, so that one will be coming back. And after the big play from Jeremiah Carr, now a holding call setting back the offense.
And you see number 55, Christopher Neff. A little fun fact, his mother is a teacher at Pennsville High School, so a little family matchup here between his mom and his school.
Certainly interesting to see. Now, I mean, if you're Mrs. Neff, presumably, this might be the one time you're rooting against Pennsville with your son on the other team. That's an interesting note right there.
My 11th grade English teacher. Great class. Shout out Miss Neff. She's got to be rooting for Paulsboro, though.
You have to imagine, as now the clock ticks under 2 minutes. 3 receivers on the far side. First down, play action. McKenzie rolling out to the right, fires a pass deep downfield. It's caught on the far sideline. A big reception there. Cabanas on the catch on the far side of the field, and he's got enough to move the chains or get close to it. They will move him up the field. First down there for Paulsboro after they had a long 20 yards to go on the holding call.
And that loss of Jeremiah Carr seems like it didn't have an impact on that play after Paulsboro slings it downfield and picks up a huge first down.
McKenzie drops back to pass on first down, fires to the near side. It is caught. Eli with a leaping grab there. Marquise Eli with a big catch. The clock is stopped at 1:29, but a really athletic play from the tight end.
That was a beautiful catch. I don't know if he was the intended target, but he didn't know that. I mean, he jumps up and leaps, grabs it out of the air. Big catch for Paulsboro, moves it for another first down.
Looked like they were going to go to Sawyer Cabanas yet again here from the far side of the field, now to the near side. But Eli jumps up, says, I'll take the catch for myself, and picks up a couple of yards. First down here for Paulsboro, a minute remaining. Crunch time for the Red Raiders. They hand it off to Harvey. He's looking for number 3. A flag is down in the backfield, a couple of cuts, and he is tackled. He signaled that he's in, but holding is going to bring this one back. Big break there for Pennsville, as that would have been a huge score for Paulsboro, but the holding will back this ball up.
Another 1st and 20.
They were able to convert once before. We'll have to see if they can do it here again with less than a minute remaining. Going to take a look to see where. We're taking a look at the catch by Eli. Again, it looked like he was looking for Cabanas.
Hey, Eli said, I'm tired of blocking. I want to catch in this game. I've done enough for my running backs on this offensive front. Get me some action. And he snatched that one. Great catch.
A big leaping grab there for Marquise Eli. But now after the holding call on the run from Harvey, Paulsboro is looking backed up. The officials come running in to convene. Might be about where the ball should be spotted. Looks like everything's sorted out. First down and 20. McKenzie drops back, steps up in the pocket, now rolls out to the right, still looking downfield. He's got a man in Cabanas. Did he catch it and keep the feet in? No, he does not. Second down and 20, but the clock will stop with 42 seconds.
And that's a big play there. That would have cut the yardage in half and made it a second and manageable. But now you're backed up again. It's now 2nd and 20. And that you got to go a big distance. We've talked about it. I can't harp on it enough. You don't have a kicker. You have to score a touchdown here if you want to put points on the board for Paulsboro. So that 2nd and 20 distance, I mean, this is would be a 42-yard field goal. I don't know if anyone on your team can make that. And your punter was Jeremiah Carr, who was knocked out of this game earlier. Would he have been their place kicker too? I think so. So that's a huge loss for Paulsboro.
That one is incomplete. Big throw down the field. Clock will stop with 37 seconds. McKenzie was looking deep down the field, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
Almost found Chase Johnson in the end zone. The Eagles' corner leaped up and could not make the grab, but that might not be a bad thing because he would have been tackled around the 1-yard line. Instead, now you set up Paulsboro for a deep 3rd and 20. 37 seconds left. I don't think we'll see another Eagles offensive drive, but the goal right now would be to keep Paulsboro out of the end zone.
So a big 3rd down now and a long way to go. McKenzie drops back, has a clean pocket, now rolls out, fires deep down the field and wide open for the touchdown. Khalil Streeter with the big reception there, and Paulsboro goes up right before the half.
And some blown coverage there between 2 Eagles corners, Chase Johnson and Kane Green. A little mismatch in the end zone, and Paulsboro puts 6 more on the board.
Huge catch there from Streeter, the freshman, picking up a big touchdown there early in his high school career. And Paulsboro now leads 22-16. They'll bring the offense out, still going for 2. So we have to imagine both of these teams will do all night long. They get McKenzie under center. He hands it off left. Running.
Stuffed.
Is he in? Looks like he's short, and for the first time here tonight, Pennsville gets the short, and it'll be 22-16. We'll see, can the Eagles respond with 28 seconds? You'll have to come back and find out right here on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. (22-16) with 28 seconds left to go, as Paulsboro with a big touchdown. And this one is kicked off and spotted right around the 39-yard line. So Pennsville with 28 seconds. They used the timeout earlier, so they're down to 2. We're going to have to see how they play this. They've been so dominant on the ground, but right now it feels like McDade is going to have to go and be the Robbie McDade from a couple of years ago where he passed for over 1,000 yards. They're going to need a big passing drive out of number 3 in black.
And it doesn't help. He lost 2 of his better receivers last season in Malik Raymer and Luke Wood, both graduates. And now he's got to deal with a younger receiving core.
They hand the ball off, stopped there for minimal gain. Clock continues to run, and it looks like head coach Mike Healy
sent it to half.
Just wants to play it passive here. Maybe. Clock still ticking now, 10 seconds remaining.
Maybe stop it with about 3 and take a Hail Mary. Nope.
So the Eagles will come off the field along with the Red Raiders as Paulsboro with a late touchdown in this first half. They lead going into the halftime break 22-16 here on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. The touchdown that put the Red Raiders up, caught by Khalil Streeter, the freshman. Kyer Harvey with 2 rushing touchdowns of his own. And on the other side, it's been the Robbie McDade show for Pennsville, has both touchdowns on the ground for the Eagles. But here from Lou D'Angelo Stadium, the home Pennsville Eagles find themselves trailing 22-16. We'll be back with second half action right here on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting.
May is Mental Health Awareness Month. It is the responsibility of all of us to make sure that our friends, family, and anybody who we hold dear in our lives is feeling well. The problem with spotting mental health issues is that the symptoms aren't that obvious. Just because someone is okay or appears okay on the outside doesn't mean that they're okay on the inside. It's important that if they are in distress, that they call the right people and they get the help that they need. And it is very important that we treat each other with respect, regardless of who you are or where you come from. But it is just as important that we treat ourselves with respect, regardless of the situation going on in our lives. If you're in distress, you can call this number, 988, or you can visit any of these websites if you're not in distress, but would like to learn more information about mental health awareness and research.
Book Dog Pro Wrestling for your next event or outing for the greatest action that New Jersey Pro Wrestling has to offer. Any place, any time, any setting, Dog Pro Wrestling will bring the action to you, and you won't want to miss it for moments like this. But don't just take it from me. Take it from Max Mundo, the Dog Pro Wrestling ambassador.
This is Max Mundo with Dog Pro Wrestling. Are you a civic organization, sporting club looking to fundraise? Then look no further to Dog Pro Wrestling. We do grand openings, corporate events, and much more.
And why not from some of the wrestling talent themselves?
I'm Vinny the Fixer, and I'm the champion of Dog Professional Wrestling. If you want to book the best, come see us. We're the cream of the crop. We'll come to any fundraiser you can think of. Just name the place and we'll show up.
This is the upstanding Dylan Mesh, and for the entirety of my professional wrestling career, dog wrestling has been a mainstay for where I like to wrestle. So you can believe me when I say that it is quality. And I'm upstanding. I'm the only opinion you need.
Yeah! It's your boy Gabriel Hodder here with my man Matthew Oman, and if you want your events to be all fight, no flight,
then book Dog Wrestling so you can witness true primal fear. Woo!
Jersey is the number 2 seed. As we said, they beat Manville 19-0 in the first round, which was even larger than Audubon's 16-0 win over Paulsboro as the 1 seed in the first round. That one's hit out towards center field straight away. Oh, she misjudged it. Got over her head in center field. Now this one's got a chance to be 3 bases for Spire. She's flying around third. Here comes the throw to the plate. It is not in time. What a way to kick off a semifinal with an inside the park home run. Emma Spire, who will take her talents to the Great Danes after 2026, lights up the scoreboard with a fly ball that got misjudged in center field. To end the day for Luke Pokrovsky. Little pop-up, first base side, he calls for it, and for the first time in 33 years, the Charlotte Cougars will hoist the trophy and face Middlesex on Monday. 4-3. Cougars win it. And in the battle of green and gold, the trophy stays true with the visitors. What a finish. And Shalleck will pack their bags for Middlesex in the Jeppelite, he's, again, one time leaving the bases loaded is frustrating enough. Doing it twice in a row. Oh, how about this? Line drive. No, he's throwing it around the infield. They're going to throw him out at first. He's out. I have never seen that before. That is a 5-4-3 ground out because the third baseman thought he caught it. The home plate umpire said no, so he threw it around the infield and then got the out at first anyway because the batter thought he was out.
The batter stopped. The third baseman thought
Everybody
he caught
stopped.
it, and it touched.
And Argabright with a full count. Outfielders in communication for the Quakers. Everyone's looking around in a tie game, bottom of the sixth. The 3-2 payoff. Ground ball. It's going to get over the head of Tolbert into left field. That's a base hit. 2-run score. Argabright delivers when asked. 5-3. Alex Argabright has given the Golden Eagles a 5-3 lead in the bottom of the sixth inning.
So after the holding call to be 1st and 20, as now rolling out to the right side, he's got a little bit of room to run on a QB rush. He's going to get a first down. There's no flags, and how about this for 61 yards? Anthony Gaetano with a QB rush that works to perfection. He hugs the sideline, and Anthony Gaetano gets the scoring started for the Red Hawks at 7-6.
Doubleheader reached first on an error in the first at-bat of Game 2. This one's lined into center field. Slider going over. He dives. Did he make the catch? Yes, he did. Ryan Slider makes the catch.
2 minutes remaining. 4 fouls on St. Joe's. 1 more and it's a bonus, which would greatly help Gloucester Catholic. The moving three, good! It's a 1-point game just like that! This place is going nuts! And now a drive to the basket by Spross. He lays it up and lays it in! St. Joe's has 2 timeouts remaining. Gloucester Catholic still has 3. Here we go. Mascaro pulls up. He goes for 3! 6 points! Jack Mascaro has tied the game with 90 seconds remaining. How will the Wildcats respond with a miss of
Ryan Nutley, who has 3 RBIs so far, is up on deck as here's a fly ball at the center field, going back to the wall. It is gone! 3-run home run, Steve Schaefer. He rockets one out, and it's 9-2. First home run for Schaefer this year, the second hit at home by a Scarlet Raptor.
And this is going to bring up Andrew Petrick, who has a single in this game. And here's a fly ball popped up right field side. And it's fair. It's fair. They're going to throw to second for try to get this play. The force out. They got him, but the game is tied. How about it for Woodstown? They complete the comeback to make it 8-8. So now there is one out after Kubat let it fall in right, and because the bases were loaded, you know what? That's a very smart play.
Excuse me, Goldberg is a shortstop tonight, but he had a 400 average in 2023 as a junior. A homer in each of his sophomore and junior campaigns, 331 career mark and a 430 career slugging percentage. And speaking of home runs, there's a fly ball to left, and it's gone! Devin Goldberg answers Racers on opening day with a first pitch rocket to left, and it's 1-0 Bridgewater. We were just talking about the long ball, and he stomps on the plate, mobbed at home, and Goldberg, the leadoff man, with a swing of gold. It's 1-0. Will lead it off for the Senators. Chase Rollins, the player manager for CHP, gets it started with a ball upstairs, and we are underway in game one. 1-0. That one is hit well out towards left, and it is gone off the top of the goalpost. Shane Adamski with a thunderous start to his playoff series. Second pitch of the game, a solo homer to left, and before I could even write the first name down in my scorecard, it's 1-0.
Late switch for the visitors. Again inside their 5. Oh, they're going to pitch this one back for the flea flicker. Touchdown, West! Oh, my goodness! Taking inspiration from Nick Foles and Trey Burton. I think they just pulled off the Philly special. That is the greatest touchdown I have ever seen. Well, maybe not the greatest touchdown I've ever seen. Maybe that's stretching a little bit, but one of the greatest touchdowns we've seen in a long time. And it's a tie game.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back here to Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. I'm Jay Clark alongside Nolan Dowell, where the Paulsboro Red Raiders on the road lead 22-16 here at the half. It was a great rushing effort from their running back, number 0, Kyer Harvey. 2 touchdowns on the ground, over 100 yards on just 8 carries for him, number 0 in white. And on the other side of things, Robbie McDade, the quarterback for Pennsville, 2 rushing touchdowns, 70 yards on the ground. But the Eagles find themselves down in this one at the half.
Yeah, and it's been really just dominated by run the entire game for both teams. Rylan Hardy for the Eagles has had a lot of rushes. He hasn't found the end zone, but he did get a couple two-point conversions, and we've seen it so far. It's been a lot of run, and I think it's going to be a lot of run in the second half too. You talked about Kyer Harvey. He had an interception for Paulsboro, so he doesn't just do it on offense. He also gets it done on defense.
And McDade, the other lead candidate for Pennsville, recorded a tackle earlier in that first half, not only taking care of the passing duties, the rushing duties, but also showing that he can hang defensively. Both teams are just about ready to go now for the second half of action, as we're now being blinded here by the lights. We'll be right back on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting after this. Just about set, a huge line over at the snack stand here at Lou D'Angelo Stadium in Pennsville, New Jersey, as the Eagles trail at the half to the visiting Paulsboro Red Raiders 22-16 right here on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. This one booted off a squib there from Paulsboro. A scrum for the football. Looked like Pennsville fell on it. And the Eagles offense will now trot out onto the field for their inaugural drive of the second half.
Yeah, and this is going to be a big drive. You had Paulsboro in the corner at the end of the first half with a 3rd and 20, but a little blown coverage became a Khalil Streeter touchdown, and that really, really hurts this Pennsville team. You had a tie game. You were so close to getting out of the first half without any extra damage. And now into the second half, you're down 6, and you got to go 65 yards.
So McDade in the shotgun, sends a man in motion. They'll hand it off to him. It's Collazo. Collazo looking for blocks. He can't find any. And a nice tackle there. It was Herbert Roberts in on the tackle. Aiden Herbert Roberts, the defensive lineman. We've seen him a couple times here tonight. Had a tackle for loss earlier on McDade. 1 sack on the season for Herbert Roberts back when Paulsboro played Audubon earlier in the season on September 6th.
Yeah, and Paulsboro has a really big defensive front. It's tough to run on them, but the Eagles have had success today with Rylan Hardy and Robbie McDade leading the way. A little bit of Aiden Collazo action, too.
Play action now for McDade. He's being pressured, gets rid of it, and can't find his check down in Collazo. Heard the footsteps of the defender, and now that'll bring up a 3rd down here. 3rd and 13 now for Pennsville. Again, as we mentioned, both touchdowns accredited to number 3, Robbie McDade. The quarterback now with 6 rushing touchdowns on the year, also has 2 through the air, so 8 total offensive touchdowns for the senior at the helm of this offense.
And Pennsville's definitely not made it easy for Paulsboro today. You saw them last game against Shalleck. They only won 6-0 against a now 2-3 Shalleck team. And Pennsville's putting it up today.
And they are putting up big numbers on that pass there. McDade hooks up with his receiver and Hayden Sherman to move the sticks. A big first down there on a 3rd and 13. They got more than the 13 they needed. And now Pennsville, their offense is in business.
And that was a really nice connection there from McDade to Sherman. The two buddies, both seniors, last hurrah with the Eagles at home. They have one more game after this versus Lawrence here, but that was a nice connection for a first down.
They hand this one up off the middle. Collazo, the one getting stuffed for a minimal gain. Paulsboro, a whole lot of white jerseys there in on the tackle, and it'll bring up a 2nd and long.
Yeah, and we've seen it all game. I don't think Pennsville has thrown the ball on first down once this game. So it's going to be a run. Paulsboro has dialed in on that, and so far they've done a good job stopping the run on the first down in the second half.
2nd down and 9. Similar formation that we've seen from the Eagles all night long. And a similar play is McDade there on the quarterback keeper. Picks up about 3 yards. It'll bring up a 3rd and about 5 here on the first drive in the second half for Pennsville.
Another triple option formation there. And McDade keeps it for himself and now makes it a 3rd and manageable. About 7 yards to go for a first down. Eagles need to convert here.
3rd and 7. The Eagles on the 36-yard line in Red Raider territory. 2 men in the backfield for Pennsville. McDade drops back to pass, now steps up in the pocket. He's going to take off, makes a man miss, gets tackled right around the first down marker. It'll be interesting to see where they spot it.
They're going to go for it, though, no matter what. This isn't punt distance. This isn't field goal distance. You got good rushing attack who can power forward for about 1 yard. We saw earlier on the McDade QB sneak up the middle. I think we'll see another one here on 4th and inches.
4th and about a yard now for Pennsville.
Yeah, not inches.
Could be close. I mean, depending on where they really spot it. Nevertheless, short yardage situation here for the Eagles. A big play early in this 3rd quarter.
Stacking the box. They're committed to the run.
Paulsboro looks like they're going for the blitz, and they are stopping him back in the tracks. Hardy tackled for a loss. A big play there from Caden Weber in on the tackle for loss. And a huge turnover on downs there for Paulsboro. They get the ball back.
Yeah, and we knew it up here. As soon as they snapped the ball, Paulsboro had 7 or 8 guys in the box, and they knew Pennsville was going to run the ball. You've seen it all game. They haven't had a lot of success passing the ball, but they also haven't had that many attempts passing the ball. They were going to go for a power run up the middle. It did not work. Ryland Hardy shut down for one of the first times today, and now Paulsboro takes possession.
So the inaugural drive of Malachi McKenzie and this Red Raiders offense in the shotgun. They pitch it, whistles, and it looks like a false start of the offense, so they'll be backed up an extra 5 yards.
And yeah, you don't want to see that from this Paulsboro's offense. This is now their 4th penalty of the game, 3 more than Pennsville's 1. And that'll push them back 5 yards to start their first drive of the second half.
Paulsboro with 3 penalties for 35 yards in that first half. They'll now have a 1st and 15 after the false start. Looked like they were going to go back to Kyer Harvey. Had 2 touchdowns on the ground, over 100 rush yards in that first half, only on 8 carries. McKenzie drops back, rolls out right, sets his feet, fires deep down the field. He's got it! A huge catch down the field for Jamal Robinson, a field flipper there for Paulsboro, and they've got a first down now in enemy territory.
And that is what Paulsboro needed. Flips the field now, and they have the ball on Pennsville's 32-yard line. A huge play from Paulsboro, and we saw the coverage from Hayden Sherman. It looked like he turned his head to the receiver a little early, and a big play from Paulsboro.
Here comes Harvey Harvey makes a man miss. Kyer Harvey with some space, diving for the pylon, and they got him out right at the 1 yard line. Almost touchdown number 3 for Kyer Harvey, but 2 big plays back to back, and this Red Raiders offense is booming here at the start of the second half.
And Jake, don't be surprised if they go right back to the man who just made that play in Harvey to get his 3rd touchdown of the game. He's staying out on the field after a big 31-yard run right there on first down. Puts him within a yard.
Harvey lined up to the right of McKenzie. 1st and goal. They get it right to him. Barreling down the middle of the field. Did he break the plane? The first official to get a hand up says he's short.
Well, might as well give it to him again. I mean, you're on the 1 foot line. He's had a lot of success today. Or maybe option for your bigger running back in Paris Graves. Maybe even a quarterback keeper for McKenzie.
It would certainly be interesting to see how head coach Kevin Harvey wants to play this. Again, Harvey, one of the best players to ever do it in South Jersey when it comes to the sport of football. Now back in his alma mater as the head coach. McKenzie hands this one off. They get it to Harvey, and he walks in untouched for a touchdown. Touchdown number 3 of the night for Kyer Harvey. And the Red Raiders extend their lead now 28-16 here on the road at Pennsville.
Nice run from Harvey there. The trifecta on the night for him now. And now Paulsboro starting to pull away with this game. Up 12, going to go for 2 here. Maybe make it a 14-point game. And Pennsville, this next drive might determine the game. You really need a spark from your offense here.
After the big turnover on downs, the big pass from McKenzie to Robinson. And now touchdown number 3 for Kyer Harvey. McKenzie will line up under center. They've gone to the left a couple times out of this formation. They'll do it again, but this time they'll pass. McKenzie speeding for the pylon, and he gets there. Malachi McKenzie converts on the quarterback scramble and now makes it 30-16 here in favor of Paulsboro.
And that's the formation we've seen. We saw it on the touchdown run, and we saw it on the 2-point conversion. That little goal line formation, handed off to the running back. But McKenzie decides to keep it and puts him up 14.
Kyer Harvey picks up touchdown number 3 on the ground, and Malachi McKenzie had the big pass and threw one in for a 2-point conversion. 30-16, the Red Raiders lead over the Eagles. We'll be right back for some more Thursday Night Football here on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. Welcome back here to Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. If you're just joining us, I'm Jake Clark alongside Nolan Dowell. The Red Raiders kick this one away, fielded at the 19-yard line by Pennsville. A big hit over the middle of the field. A lot of white jerseys in on the stop. And now almost feels like a make-or-break drive here for the Eagles as they trail by 2 scores in the third quarter.
And it's good to see Jeremiah Carr back out on the field for the Red Raiders. Took a big hit late in the second quarter. Did not know if he would return to the game. Stepped out for the remainder of the first half, but it's good to see he's back for this Red Raiders team.
So the Eagles in the huddle, as it'll be a first down to begin the drive. Fake on the handoff on the screen. A nice pitch and catch. Good throw from McDade, but it only results in a couple. Now second down here for the Eagles.
He goes back to his buddy, Hayden Sherman, the one who had a big catch on the Eagles' last offensive possession to give him a big first down. Unfortunately, they could not get past the Paulsboro defense and would turn it over on downs, but McDade to Sherman on first down there.
We'll have to see if they go back to that well. Now second down, they'll keep it on the ground. It's Hardy. Hardy keeping the legs moving, trying not to go down, picks up only a couple of yards, and will bring up a third and manageable here for Pennsville.
And you have to think if Robbie McDade is going to run one of these RPOs that we've seen on these third downs earlier in the game, they've had success with them majority of the time, and it just feels like right now is a good time to use one. 3rd and 6 in your own territory. You really need this first down because you're down 2 possessions. This is a big play.
Third down, play action. McDade rolling to his right. Now going to tuck it and run. McDade gets out of bounds. Looks like he has enough for the first down. Walks out at the 44-yard line, and he'll move the sticks for Pennsville.
And that's what we just saw, the RPO from McDade. Didn't see the run option. His pass option got locked up by this Paulsboro defense, but they didn't account for the fact that he can run the ball too, and he picks up a good first down for the Eagles.
So the Eagles pick up a first down thanks to the legs of senior quarterback Robbie McDade. He's done an excellent job rushing for Pennsville. They get it on the ground. A huge hole there for Hardy. Gets across midfield into Paulsboro territory. Second down now, spotted right at midfield. A big run there for Hardy. Entered the night with 6 rushing touchdowns, rushed for 1,000+ yards a season ago for the Pennsville Eagles. Got the carry right there, having a good game so far. Second down, McDade on the keeper. McDade with some space, bulldozes a defender and picks up a first down.
Showed a big flash of his older brother, Sean McDade, also a Pennsville alum, graduated in 2021. Ended his career with 2,300 rushing yards and 20 rushing touchdowns in the 4 years he played with the Eagles. Robbie out there looking like him right now.
Seems like rushing out on the football gridiron runs in the McDade family, no pun intended there. But now a first down for the Eagles. A slow and methodical drive, but Nolan, they're moving down the field well. Man in motion is Collazo. They'll get it to Hardy. Hardy is stuffed right around the line of scrimmage.
And Pennsville really asking for a horse collar there. It did look like Paulsboro had grabbed Rylan Hardy by the back of his jersey, but no call. Second down.
Interesting way that Hardy was tackled there, to say the least. He'll now come off to the sideline. Just looks like he needs a breather. No gain there on the play. Sherman will come in with the play from the sideline, and this drive has taken a whole lot of time off the clock. Pennsville got the ball with around 7 minutes left, now 3:40 here on the clock, taking their time moving down the field. McDade in the shotgun, fires quick. This one way too high for Sherman on the outside. Incomplete, and will now bring up a third down with 3.5 minutes to go.
And yet again, I think they're going to go back to one of those RPOs like they did on their last third down this drive. It's worked so far. Why not keep pounding it down Paulsboro?
The pass intended for Hayden Sherman was just too high. So now to bring up a third down. It's Kamani bringing the play into the huddle from head coach Mike Healy, who really needs to put up some points on this drive. Pennsville putting their 3-game win streak on the line here tonight against the undefeated Paulsboro Red Raiders. Third down, a lot of pressure on McDade. Evades a sack, gets it to Collazo on the check down. He's bumped out short of the sticks, and it'll bring up a fourth down.
And it really feels like you got to go for it here if you're Pennsville. That was a huge opportunity there. Collazo just gets short of the first down markers. Well, 6 yards isn't really just short, but a good shot, chance there from the Eagles offense. Got to convert here.
Ball spotted on the 40. Now a 4th and 6 after the pitch and catch from McDade to Collazo. And this is a really big play almost feels like it makes or breaks the game here for
even though there's a whole quarter left.
Yeah, even though there's a whole quarter left, feels like it makes or breaks the game here for Pennsville down on the scoreboard. Big fourth down upcoming. They get it to McDade in the shotgun. He fires back to pass. This one broken up over the middle of the field. Good defensive effort there from Jeremiah Carr. We've talked about him a lot on offense. This time comes through on defense, breaks up that pass, and another turnover on downs for Pennsville, giving Paulsboro good field position on their own 40.
And Paulsboro sent a blitz there, and Rylan Hardy tried to pick it up and got absolutely blown up. It didn't impact the play. He got the block, but Pennsville could not convert.
3:19 remaining here in the third quarter. Paulsboro getting the ball back. They scored on their last drive. It was Kyer Harvey who picked up his third rushing touchdown of the night. And a huge pitch and catch from McKenzie to Jamal Robinson really flipped the fields. McKenzie, the pitch. Harvey bounces it out to the right side. Harvey's got some space, makes a cut, has enough for a first down, and he's still moving. Whistles, and he gets it now into Pennsville territory. Looks like he'll be down right around the 47-yard line.
And Pennsville has had trouble bringing him down this entire game. It feels like they need 3 or 4 guys every time to bring down Harvey, who has just had so much success on the ground in this game.
He's been a strong runner here tonight for the Red Raiders as they're looking to try and salt away some time and move the ball up the field. Paulsboro sends 2 receivers to the near side. Carr, the receiver on the far side. They'll roll McKenzie out on first down. He's looking to go deep down the field. McKenzie unloads one. He gets it to Carr. It's caught. Touchdown, Paulsboro. Jeremiah Carr with a huge catch down the field, and Paulsboro extends their lead by 20 now, 36-16.
And that wasn't just a huge catch. That was a bucket drop throw by McKenzie, absolutely on the money. And now this game's starting to get a little out of hand.
A 20-point lead now, and a beautiful throw and an even better catch from McKenzie to Carr. Paulsboro going to go for 2. We've seen the Red Raiders go from under center. Now they're in the shotgun. They've got 3 receivers to the right. They'll roll McKenzie out that way, looking, going through his progressions. Now just going to tuck it and run, and he gets in for the 2-point conversion. 38-16 now in favor of the Red Raiders. It's been all Paulsboro here in the second half. We'll be right back here on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. Back here on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. This broadcast is brought to you by Harper Driving School. Over 90% of students take their New Jersey State Driver's Test with Harper, pass on their first attempt. Book an appointment today at 614 Lambs Road, Suite 4 of the Total Turf Complex. This broadcast is also brought to you by Dog Pro Wrestling, DAWG Pro Wrestling, New Jersey's premier pro wrestling organization with high-flying entertainment throughout the Garden State. Book DAWG for your next outing at DAWGProWrestling.com. Pennsville now really looking to get back into this game. as they'll have the ball now at the 38-yard line. 2.5 minutes remain here, and Paulsboro with a 22-point advantage on the scoreboard as the clock will wind down as we are late now in this third quarter. But a couple of turnovers on downs and the inability to stop the Red Raiders on offense really is what has the score as is now, Nolan.
And it's been a real series of unfortunate events for the Eagles. You know, final series of the first half, they let Paulsboro convert a 3rd and 20 for a touchdown. Come out of the second half, get stopped on 4th and inches, and give up another Paulsboro touchdown, stopped on 4th down again, and now finally that last touchdown drive from Paulsboro, just not what you want to see from the Pennsville Eagles.
Hardy with a couple of yards on the carry there for Pennsville. Will bring up a 2nd down now. And it seems as though the big difference has been the passing game. McDade unable to get big plays down the field, whereas Malachi McKenzie has been able to connect not once but twice for huge gains through the air, as we're now under 2 minutes to go here in the third quarter on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. If you're just joining us, I'm Jay Clark, right alongside Nolan Dowell. This one, a pass out to the flat, caught and bumped out of bounds. Looked like it was Jacob Kamani there on the catch. And that will bring up a 3rd and short here for Pennsville.
And what you say about the passing game and the Pennsville Eagles and Robbie McDade not being able to convert on deep passes, I mean, it's tough to get deep passes when 80% of your called plays are runs or run pass options for little short dink and don'ts. That's not going to win you the game. We've seen a couple, maybe 1 or 2 deep shots from the Eagles that haven't converted, a little overthrown, but you need one here.
3rd down, McDade on the keeper. He's got some space around midfield. McDade makes a man miss at the 45 and is brought down around the 35-yard line into Paulsboro territory for a 1st down.
And Robbie McDade, go ahead and make me eat my words, picking up 35 yards after I call him out for not being able to convert deep passes. That's a pretty good play from the Eagles.
Big gainer on the quarterback keeper. Clock continues to run now here at Lou D'Angelo Stadium, just across the street from Pennsville High School.
And you kind of need to get two plays off if you're the Eagles. I don't know if they're going to do that, but 2 plays would be ideal here for this offense.
25 seconds remaining. The clock is running. McDade in the shotgun, takes the snap. He drops back, steps up, a clear face mask, and he goes down.
That thing got yanked.
Doesn't get more obvious than that. You have to hope McDade is okay.
Yeah.
He takes the helmet off.
Might have been a little whiplash.
Yeah, have to hope that his neck is all right. He rattles it around. But the clock does stop now, and that'll certainly help Pennsville add an additional 15 yards from where the ball was previously spotted. With 15 seconds remaining now in the third quarter. For a team down by 22, this is a good opportunity to try and claw your way right back into it here at home.
Especially on the fringe of the red zone, I would say this is where you can convert these passes. Clock is running. It looks like they're just going to let it run out. But if you're Pennsville, you should be trying to get another playoff here. I mean, you have another chance before the final quarter begins to get a playoff without any time restraint.
So at the end of 3, it's been all Red Raiders here so far in the second half. 38-16, Paulsboro leads on the road. We'll be back for the fourth quarter action here on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. fourth quarter of action just about to get underway here on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. And next here on DWB, tomorrow DWB has Friday Night Lights just off of 1:30 between the 3-3 Shawnee Renegades and the winners of 4 straight in Pennsauken, with kickoff set for 6 p.m. Saturday, tune in down the shore for the first home game in history of ACIT. The Red Hawks face off against St. Joseph's Hamilton for a 1 p.m. kickoff in Brigantine. And Monday, October 13th, DWB comes to Knight Park as that pass was deflected and broken up. But DWB comes to Knight Park for a solid Colonial Conference boys soccer match between Woodbury and Collingswood, with opening kickoff set for 4 p.m. And we've got 2 RCSJ events next week, starting off with men's soccer versus Delaware County at 4 p.m. on Tuesday, and volleyball versus Philadelphia College on Wednesday at 6 p.m. from Sewell. So if you're loving what you're seeing here on DWB, there's a whole lot more for this week. Second down, the handoff for Collazo. He'll make a cut to the outside and just gets wrapped up, stays in bounds, but now gets out. Clock will stop. And after the pass was almost tipped, wise for Mike Healy to go back to the ground, but it'll bring up a 3rd and long here for Pennsville.
And Jake, I don't think we've mentioned it all today, but it's a pretty frigid night out tonight. I mean, last week the weather was, dare I say, nice summer weather. Right now, though,
it certainly was.
It's cold.
54 degrees here. Feels like 48 in Pennsville, New Jersey. A chilly finally feels like fall night. 3rd down, McDade keeps it, dumps this one off to Collazo, trying to get around the corner to get to the sticks. Looks like he stopped short. Big tackle there from a couple of Paulsboro defenders. It'll be interesting to see where they spot it, but regardless, have to feel like Pennsville goes for it here.
Yep. We've talked about it multiple times throughout this broadcast, but not having a kicker really can hurt you in some situations. I mean, they've had the ball. I would say they've had the ball in Paulsboro's half for a majority of their possessions, but not having a kicker and being forced to go for it on 4th down really does not help you on the scoreboard.
That and time is not on their side as they trail by 22. 4th down, McDade. He's going to keep it. McDade with some space up the middle. He's got enough for a first. Seems to be the bread and butter of this Pennsville offense, and Robbie McDade picks up yet another first down here for the Eagles.
Yep. In your backfield, you got your 1, 2, 3. McDade, Hardy, and Collazo. Those are your 3 guys that are going to run the ball and run it well. They may not be up in the scoreboard tonight, but that doesn't mean they haven't had good plays. They've played well. It's just they haven't been able to stop this dominant Paulsboro offense.
Now a 1st and goal. They hand this one off for Hardy, and he's in. Touchdown, Eagles. Rylan Hardy gets his first touchdown of the night, and the lights start to flash here at Pennsville. Lou D'Angelo Stadium has a little bit of life as the Eagles inch a little bit closer. They'll go for 2 now.
Now you need 2 of your 3 2-point conversions if you are to score and tie this game up, or else you're going to be down in this game. This is a big one.
McDade keeps it. He pitches it to Collazo. Collazo trying to get in. He's stuffed, but they say that the ball breaks the plane and he's in.
That was so close to not being in. Collazo met at the goal line by the Paulsboro defenders, barely gets the ball past the plane, and that's a big one for the Eagles.
It looked like he was stuffed short, but the ball is able to break the plane, and now Pennsville has a little bit of life, still trailing to Paulsboro 38-24 here in this one. The Red Raiders will look to respond. Again, if you're just joining us, I'm Jay Clark. Alongside me, Nolan Dowell here from Lou D'Angelo Stadium in Pennsville. Certainly been a great game here tonight. Fly, Eagles fly, playing after the touchdown. But the Red Raiders will look to respond, and Nolan, Malachi McKenzie has been threading the needle, to say the least, here in this second half.
He's looked really, really sharp. We saw the deep touchdown to Jeremiah Carr, And that was really the dagger of this game, it felt like. It really took all the life out of this Pennsville team. And now, 10 minutes left in the game, you're up 14, and your running games looked really good for Paulsboro. This is a pretty comfortable spot.
Not to mention the fact that the pass game has been great, but Kyer Harvey with not one, not two, but 3 rushing touchdowns here tonight. Now probably has over 200 yards on the night. Had over 100 in that first half. He has been electric.
Onside kick attempt.
Pennsville has it. Did they get it in time? Flag comes out. It's recovered by the Eagles, but I'm not sure that they let it go the distance.
And we see the Eagles switched up the kicker. So far, they've had Jacob Hand in for the deep kickoffs, but they switched to another Jake and Jake Layfield for the onside kick attempt, which they did recover. It's just depends on if they recovered it before the 10-yard leeway zone or safe zone.
Yeah, it's a matter of where did this ball get picked up. The officials spotting that now. Thought we saw a flag on the field. Nevertheless, the refs convene. The coaching staff for Paulsboro not happy. It looks like the offense being told to get off the field for Pennsville. If the flag stands, it would be Red Raiders ball, and they would have great field position. If it's picked up, Pennsville gets the ball back and gets themselves right back into the game. A huge point and a huge call to make for the officials here tonight.
I mean, Jake, from here, it looked like the Eagles recovered it a yard past the Grace line. And they're going to give it.
They wave off the flag. Pennsville will have the ball, and a huge turning point now in this game for the Eagles.
That is what they needed. The onside kick recovery, not only do you get the ball back, but there's only 1 second that's ticked off since they last scored. And now you're also at midfield. That's a huge advantage, too, for this offense, who have mainly had success throughout with the run game. So you have to go 49 yards, and you can use your run game since you don't have to worry about the clock too much on this drive.
Paulsboro with a mental blunder there, unable to recover the onside kick. And now, even with the lead, Kevin Harvey and this Red Raiders team have to try and bear down.
Looks like they're giving it to Paulsboro. Looks like the refs have switched their call, and they're giving the Red Raiders possession. Mike Healy is livid. Does not agree with this call.
Well, and for right reason.
Yeah.
Waving off the flag and then throwing it back down, that's not something you often see. And there's no replay review here for high school football in the state of New Jersey. So the Red Raiders get it. And when you thought you were right back in the game, Paulsboro gets the ball back on their own 49-yard line. Pitch there to Harvey. Harvey is stuffed. A big tackle for loss there for Pennsville. Jacob Hand in on the stop on the defensive line. Backs up Harvey for a huge loss.
And that's one of your big defensive leaders, the senior defensive lineman. He can't take his anger on the refs, so why not take it on the other team? Getting right by the offensive line and making a huge stop on Harvey.
Big play there from Hand. It'll back it up a 2nd and 16 after the 6-yard loss on the ground. Ball spotted at the Paulsboro 45. McKenzie is set in the shotgun. Harvey to his left. 2 receivers to the far side. They'll roll McKenzie out to his left. He's looking down the field. Has all day to throw. Goes back to the right. Fires this one. It is caught on the near side of the field. They'll say he was in. Jamal Robinson with a big catch, able to get not 1 but 2 feet inbounds there, and he moves the chains for Paulsboro. We do have a flag down.
By the original line of scrimmage, we'll see if this play is going to get called back.
They wave off the flag. However, they did that a couple minutes ago.
Yes.
As the band is rocking here for Pennsville at Lou D'Angelo Stadium.
Got to give it up for Jamal Robinson there, making a huge toe tap catch on the sideline to not only make the catch, but, I mean, you get a first down on a 2nd and 16. That's a huge play for Paulsboro.
Robinson had a big catch earlier in this game. McKenzie fired a strike down the field that flipped the script. Paulsboro had to go 85 yards to come up with a score, and they did just that. With a lot of those yards being accredited to Robinson, he picks up another catch. First down, they get it on the ground to Harvey. Makes a man miss in the backfield, makes another man miss. Harvey's got some space and some blockers in front of him, and he's still on his feet, rushed out of bounds. And he picks up a first down.
I mean, you want to talk about an ankle breaker. Kyer Harvey is the definition of that. He is so shifty when he has the ball in his possession. He's made so many defenders miss this game, and that's the reason why he has 3 touchdowns.
He's got 3 on the ground, 2 in the first half, 1 here in the second, and the run game now oh so important for Paulsboro as they're trying to salt away some clock with a lead and an almost onside kick scare just a couple moments ago to begin the drive. It's a first down after the run from Harvey. 4 receivers on the field for Paulsboro. McKenzie drops back to pass. He's pressured, scrambling around in the backfield, looking down the field, just trying to get rid of it. Nobody can bring him down. He's just going to walk off the field.
I mean, McKenzie's ability to extend the play is elite. There were 4 defenders there who had a chance to take him down, but McKenzie did not let any of them get a hand on him, and he extends it not for a loss, but for a 1-yard gain. Maybe a 1-yard loss.
Regardless, the fact he's not able to take a sack there is incredible.
The one thing he did do, though, was stop the clock, which is a big play, especially in the fourth quarter with the lead. You don't want that to happen, but, I mean, you got to do what you got to do.
Rather not take the sack in that spot. The clock stops at 8 minutes and 13 seconds here in the fourth quarter. McKenzie brings the play call to the huddle. It's 2nd and 10. No gain on the last play on the scramble. He's got Harvey to his left in the backfield. Motion man is Eli. They get it now to Eli. There on the far side of the field, makes a man miss with the juke move. Eli still on his feet and gets out of bounds. But he has enough yards for a first down, and it'll bring up what looks to be a 1st and goal here. Actually, looks like a 1st and goal, yes, inside the 10-yard line for Paulsboro.
And a touchdown here would really put this game away. Right now, there's low chances, but a touchdown makes it no chances.
McKenzie drops back to pass. He gets this one to Robinson. Robinson with some blocks, trying to cut to the outside, and he is stuffed. A whole lot of black jerseys in on the tackle there for Pennsville, and it's now 2nd down.
Yeah, and Robinson felt like he was a little hesitant to decide which way to go. He could have gone inside, he could have gone up the middle, or he could have gone to the outside. Tries to go to the outside, but nothing happens there for him.
So the clock continues to run. 7:25 remaining now here in this fourth quarter. Second and 7. McKenzie in the shotgun. They've got a man in motion, and they'll pitch it to him. Getting to the outside as Paulsboro takes a hit. Looked like he was stopped short. It was Jeremiah Carr there on the run. Had the big touchdown earlier, but he's unable to get in that time. And it'll bring up a 3rd and goal for the Red Raiders.
You know what's interesting to me, Jake? I'm taking a look over at the student section, and it looks like it's a whiteout tonight, which does not really correlate with the jerseys since Pennsville is wearing all black and Paulsboro is the team wearing all white.
Yeah, I don't know that they did the best of jobs there. But regardless, a 3rd and 1 now. They'll line up McKenzie under center. And they're going to try and sneak it in with him. And he's in. Tush-push style there for Paulsboro as they extend their lead now over Pennsville. And while the student section wearing white might be a little unhappy, the players wearing white are thrilled with that touchdown as they now lead by 20.
Yep, and a celebration has started over on the Paulsboro sideline. They're going to improve to 7-0 if they hold this lead, which would be a very hard thing to give up. With 6 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter, up 20, potentially 22 pending the two-pointer.
They get it to the running back, stopped short there on the two-point conversion. So a 20-point lead for Paulsboro after the touchdown from McKenzie. We'll be right back with the rest of the fourth quarter here on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. Paulsboro set to kick this one away with a 20-point advantage now over Pennsville. Fielded and brought down. The Eagles will start right around their own 39-yard line with 6:11 left to go here in the fourth quarter. So Pennsville down by 20. And an interesting note here in the history of DWB. This game you're watching right now, the 3rd highest scoring game on DWB for high school football with a combined 68 points, the highest being Willingboro beating Delran back in September of 2023. 76 combined total points there as a nice pitch and catch from McDade to Sherman picks up a couple yards. We'll bring up a second and manageable, but an interesting note there in the history of Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. 3rd highest scoring game ever. It's been a lot of the boys in white and red. And speaking of boys that wear white and red, I should say, the Phillies leading 1-0 over the Dodgers in the bottom of the 7th inning. However, Los Angeles is threatening with 2 on and 1 out. But certainly we've had our eyes on that game all night here tonight. McDade drops back, 2nd down. They get it on the screen to Hardy. Hardy flipping fields around the 50, now at the 45. Hardy's got some space at the 40. Hardy making a couple men miss and brought down around the 20. A huge gain on the screen from McDade to Hardy. A field flipper there for Pennsville.
Great play by Rylan Hardy. My one thing with that is I think you got to get out of bounds at the end of that instead of taking the tackle inbounds, because now the clock continues to run, and he didn't really gain anything from staying inbounds. But a great run, or a great screen pass from McDade to Hardy. Didn't
gain anything but a whole lot of yards there. Now the ball spotted, and Pennsville is in the red zone on the 20 for a 1st down inside Paulsboro territory. Two receivers to the left for McDade. He's going to keep it himself after the fake handoff to Hardy. Flying forward close to that first down marker. Clock continues to run with 4.5 minutes remaining in regulation.
McDade is down. That is not what you want to see from this Pennsville team. He lowered his shoulder on that run attempt and took a shot. And it looks like he's grabbing at that shoulder right now. You do not want that, especially in garbage time of this game. 4 minutes and 27 seconds left of a 20-point Paulsboro lead. You cannot have your quarterback going down.
Certainly don't want to see that at any point in the season, let alone this deep now into the season. Both teams only 2 games left to play, and that's the risk that you run sometimes as a rushing quarterback. McDade likes to tuck it and run a whole lot. Have to hope he's okay. He's up, walking off under his own power, which is a good sign to see for Pennsville. It'll be Jake Layfield to replace McDade, number 15, the junior. Typically a ball carrier himself and a good defensive player for Pennsville. Has 12 tackles on the year, just 2 rushes for 13 yards. And the clock will now run.
And Jake Layfield has gotten a lot of experience on the junior varsity team at quarterback. This year stepping up to the varsity team. It's good to have that quarterback background for situations like this.
Certainly is. Layfield is ready. Looks like Layfield is going to keep this one himself on the quarterback keeper.
Well, it just seems like they kept Robbie McDade in the game there. Another quarterback option, and not McDade. Jake Layfield takes it up the middle himself.
Looks as though as Robbie McDade is okay. He's talking to one of the coaches on the sideline. Have to wonder, is he going to come back into this game or not? Looks like McDade headed back to the sidelines. Hayden Sherman will bring the play in for Jake Layfield and the Eagles.
And McDade's definitely itching to get back in the game. Even though he had a little scare there with the injury, he only has 2 games left after this in his Pennsville Eagle career. So every snap counts at this point.
And this one counts there as Hardy gets into the end zone. Touchdown, Pennsville. Rylan Hardy, the senior, picks up his 2nd rushing touchdown here in the second half, 8 on the season. And Pennsville cuts down the deficit 44-30 now.
So we're going to have to go for 2 here. And then the onside kick, which you got to think back. The onside kick they attempted earlier this half was originally called Pennsville ball. Refs talked it out and ended up giving it to Paulsboro. The game would be in a completely different spot right now if that was not the case.
It was an interesting decision. They waved off the flag and then waved off the wave off. But nevertheless, now McDade back into the game in the shotgun. He takes the snap, hands this one off to Hardy. Hardy makes a cut and walks into the end zone. Rylan Hardy picks up not only the touchdown, but the 2-point conversion as well, and helps put up 8 points there for Pennsville. 44-32 your score. We'll be back with the rest of the 4th quarter right here on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. Fourth quarter action between the Red Raiders and the Eagles from Lou D'Angelo Stadium here on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. It's going to be Layfield, the backup quarterback, who took a couple snaps when McDade went down to kick off, and you have to presume yet another onside kick attempt for Pennsville. This one squibbed on the ground, recovered by the hands team right around midfield. And now for the Red Raiders, they've had a terrific ground game here all night long. And you have to think that the ball is going to get in the hands of number 0 in white, Kyer Harvey, who now has 3 touchdowns on the ground, presumably over 200 yards, had over 100 at the half. And with the ball spotted right at midfield, great field position for Paulsboro.
We could easily see another touchdown here. I don't think the Red Raiders would go down if they get open. A big run here, I wouldn't expect them to go down. This is a rivalry matchup, 2 same conference teams.
Small run there for the Red Raiders. Both of these teams playing in the WJFL Patriot Division. Paulsboro 4-0 in that division. Pennsville 2-2. And when we mentioned the history of DWB, this game now tied for the highest scoring football game in Dan Wilkins Broadcasting history.
We've got another injury now. Jacob Hand, another senior coming off the field, shaking his right hand, and in to replace him is senior Jaden Gernovich, another big defensive end who could potentially stop a run here.
Clock continues to tick. Second down, it's handed off up the middle. A big run there for Graves, still on his feet, and now finally brought down. Will have enough for the first, and the chains will move for the Red Raiders. Paris Graves been the secondary back in this backfield for Paulsboro. It's been the Kyer Harvey show at the running back room. Clock continues to run now. 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter.
They can take all the time they need.
So for Paulsboro, looking to salt away the final seconds in this one and hold on for a win. They've got a 1st and 10. McKenzie's in the shotgun, takes the snap, hands this one off to Graves. Graves barreling through that Pennsville defense.
Got to hold on to the ball.
And he's finally dragged down. Clock continues to run. There's an Eagle down on the field. Very slow to get up. Clock will stop at 1:28. Pennsville will call timeout.
And look, Jaden Gernovich, the man who went in for the injured Jacob Hand, is now injured himself. I mean, this has just been a rough fourth quarter for the Eagles injury-wise. McDade got injured, banged up a little earlier. Jacob Hand and now Jaden Gernovich, 3 seniors who only have a couple games left. Not what you want to see.
It's certainly not. You have to hope that everybody stays healthy now, especially this deep into the season. Looking at the upcoming schedule for Pennsville, they've got one final home game. That'll be next week. Their next game on October 17th against Lawrence, who boasts a 4-2 record. And then they'll be on the road to finish out their regular season against the Collingswood Panthers on October 24th, another team with a 4-2 record. As for Paulsboro, they'll face off with their Colonial Conference rival West Deptford on October 18th. The West Deptford Eagles 5-1 on the year, and Paulsboro will close out their regular season against Clayton on the 25th. First down, they hand it off for Graves, just trying to keep the clock moving. Whistles and another timeout taken by Pennsville, 1:20 remaining. So now we've got another game to look at. the Giants, the New York Giants, up against the Philadelphia Eagles 7-3 early still in the first quarter there in East Rutherford.
A Jackson Dart touchdown run, which we've seen quarterbacks run in this game, and another quarterback getting a touchdown run in that one.
I guess you could say that Jackson Dart was pulling off his best Robbie McDade impression.
Yes.
With a quarterback rushing touchdown. But Nolan, I would argue that we have the best Thursday night football matchup in the state here, even though the Eagles and the Giants playing in East Rutherford. It's been a great matchup here tonight between Pennsville and Paulsboro. 76 total points between these two teams, the highest scoring game, tied for the highest ever covered on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. 2nd and 5, it's handed off for Graves yet again. Paris Graves rumbling and brought down. And the final timeout being used now by Pennsville. 1:12 remaining here in the fourth quarter. And it's been a terrific game tonight for the Paulsboro Red Raiders. And Nolan, I would argue the big difference has been their ability to be successful through the air and on the ground.
Yeah, we've seen some big passes from Paulsboro, and we haven't seen big passes from Pennsville. I mean, we had a little screen pass to Rylan Hardy on the last offensive drive, but that was about it through the air for Pennsville. And even though my alma mater is not going to get the win tonight, this has still been a very fun game to watch. 76 total points put up in this game. That's something you don't really see that often.
A big offensive night for both of these teams with a lot of rushing on the ground, but it'll bring up a 3rd down now for Paulsboro. They'll hand this one off for Graves. And the clock will now just continue to run. He's close to that 1st down marker.
We have one ref that marked him past the 1st down marker and one ref that marked him short of it.
Sounds like they're going to give him the 1st down, and now the clock will continue to run.
Victory formation.
On a chilly October night here, it feels like 47 in Pennsville. And I'm sure for the coaches and the players for Paulsboro, they're going to be happy not only to get on the bus with a win, but having to get on the bus because it finally feels like fall here in South Jersey.
Yeah, I don't know how you're wearing shorts out there as a coach right now. Coach Mike Healy wearing shorts out there. He's one tough man. I mean,
1st down, and Graves runs, and that will potentially be the final play of this game. We'll have to see if Paulsboro gets a little bit greedy and tries for one more. Looks like the Red Raiders will walk off the field, and they will walk off the field winners here from Lou D'Angelo Stadium. The home Pennsville Eagles drop a tough one to Paulsboro, and the Red Raiders remain unbeaten. 7-0 now for Paulsboro. They have not lost since November of last year, and they'll keep that winning streak alive. As for Pennsville, their 3-game winning streak comes to a close with a loss here tonight against Paulsboro, 44-32. Your final score, 76 combined points, the highest scoring game, or I should say the tied for the highest scoring game here on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting history. But Nolan, an offensive onslaught here tonight, and the Red Raiders come out on top.
Yep, it was a fun one to watch. 44-32 the final. Dominance on the ground throughout the game for both teams. I mean, this was a run-heavy game. A couple big plays from Paulsboro through the air put this one away, but it was a pleasure. Very fun game.
Yeah, it was a great game here tonight between two WJFL Patriot teams. Paulsboro will take on yet another Eagles opponent in their next one. They'll be 5-1, 5-1 against West Deptford, and we will cover that game here on DWV. So you'll see the Red Raiders yet again, but for Pennsville, they'll host Lawrence, a team that's 4-2. Pennsville now 4-3 on the season here from South Jersey. Group 1 football. That's going to do it for us here on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. From our entire crew, our social media coordinator, Haley Mejia, our graphics crew, Gavin Van Rel, Caleb Lane, and Carson Rossi, our producer, the man himself, Dan Wilkins, my color commentator, Nolan Dowell. I'm Jay Clark, and we hope that you have a great rest of your night.